This is Mars, Nikon P1000 style. 3 different levels of focus, 3 different levels of zoom, 3 different, just watch. All right, look, check this out. Look, this is like the most unfocused they say, but you can see the ripples of water. What looks like ripples of water, sorry fact checkers. Watch it. Hold on. This one right here is much better focus. I want you to see how much brighter it looks. You can still see the ripples of water no matter how good it's focused. Then we have Exhibit C. Look how bright that is, y'all. Look at that, man. Doesn't that look cool? And they say these are planets, but the Nikon P1000 says differently, if you know what I'm saying. Take a good look. Y'all keep watching. Something magical is about to happen. Look at this. This is me recording the camera itself. I want you to look at the little ripples, man. Look. Look at that, man. That is crazy looking, isn't it? I love that P1000, man. Who wants it?
There is no such thing as aliens. You have to understand this whole world is literally good versus evil, light versus darkness, love versus hate, God versus the devil, holiness versus sin. Everything in space is spiritual. You can even call the ocean space. There's a lot of spiritual stuff in the ocean. Mermaids. We have to understand that fallen angels can transform themselves. They could transform into an angel of light. Demons are disembodied spirits. This is why when Jesus casted out the demons out of that man, they wanted to be sent to the pigs. Why? Because they didn't want to be cast to hell. They knew in the pigs, all they had to do was run off the cliff, and then once again, their spirits could hover around to try to possess something else, like a human. But a fallen angel doesn't need a human body. It already has a spiritual body that can morph. So understand that aliens are not real. Space up there is spiritual, and the ocean down here is also spiritual. Really, everything is spiritual. Wake up, this is the truth. Jesus is king.
So in 1986, I and many others in the world watched the Challenger explode on national TV, and 7 astronauts lost their lives. At least that's what we thought we saw. Or did they? What if I told you that it never happened and those people went on to live long, productive lives? Even some working with the same accident that was advertised to the world. Nothing is ever what it seems. You know I'm always bringing proof. So you tell me what you think. Let's take a look at it.
Let's start with former NASA astronaut Michael J. Smith, with the same name as this retired professor from the University of Wisconsin-Madison.
Are you Michael Smith? Yeah. Professor at university? Retired. Yeah. Yeah, I just stopped by because there's a room. Are you aware that there's a rumor on the internet that people are saying?
Yeah, it's not me, obviously. I mean, anybody that looks at my background, looks where I was born, it's not me. I mean, it's interesting that the Michael J. Smith that was the astronaut looks something like me when we were younger, but really not, if you really look at facial recognition.
You never been a pilot, never been in the military?
Nothing like that.
Huh.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all.
And I don't respond to the emails I get. I get probably an email, maybe 2 a month.
Really?
Yeah, and I got one guy that's been really hounding me, and I turned it over to the FBI.
Okay. Yeah, you just sure look alike. It's the same.
I know the facial thing, but that's what we look like, what, 40 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Judith Resnick with an exact doppelganger working at Yale University. 37 years have passed and she hasn't even changed her name. Side by side, there's no denying it. When she's approached, she has a very odd way of not responding.
Hey, Judy, this is a conspiracy about space shuttle. I want to be polite. Friendly, just a question.
How do flat earthers explain seasons?
So you're curious about flat earth. Awesome, bro. Most people are actually looking into this. 20 to 60,000 flat earth searches every week in the United States alone. So let's get down to seasons. So in the north, when the sun is over the Tropic of Cancer, the sun makes a big circle like this over the north. So in the wintertime, the sun is further away from the north in the southern hemisphere over the Tropic of Capricorn. That's when the sun's lower in the sky. That's when South America, New Zealand, Australia, South Africa have their summertime. Okay? Pretty simple. Easy. Much easier to understand than some silly-ass globe.
So the inspiration for building a rocket ship came from missiles. Now, a guy named Wernher von Braun is the guy that invented the missile. The V-2, I think, was the first missile used in World War II. And then Robert Goddard and a team of engineers, led by Wernher von Braun, created the rocket ship. Now, Wernher von Braun was interested in trying to leave the firmament. And if you read what it says on Werner's gravestone after he died, it kind of gives you the answer you're looking for. The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament showeth his handiwork. So the guy interested in going past the firmament, the guy who invented the missile and worked on rockets, puts that on his gravestone. And that to me was him putting out the real truth.
Why would NASA fake the Challenger shuttle explosion? Well, there are plenty of reasons, but we'll get to that. So the theory is that the Challenger shuttle crew who unfortunately lost their lives in the explosion in 1986 have all been found alive and well today.
Are you Michael Smith?
Yeah.
Are you aware of that there's a rumor on the internet that people are saying...
Yeah, it's not me, obviously.
What press?
From a radio station in San Bernardino. I know there's a conspiracy about the space shuttle.
So while these two have apparently been found, Judy Resnick and Michael Smith, both working as professors, Richard Scobie, formerly Francis Richard Scobie, runs a marketing agency that has a very peculiar logo, somewhat eerily similar to the Challenger explosion smoke trails. Now, these two astronauts, Ronald McNair and Ellison Onizuka, both apparently had twins. Okay, the odds of that seem fairly high, but whatever. But apparently neither of the two now living twins have any birth records. Now, here's the memorial service for the Challenger crew, and this is the family of Ellison Onizuka, but his twin brother Claude Onizuka is nowhere to be found. And here's the family of Ronald McNair, but also missing is his twin brother Carl. So getting back to the matter at hand, why would NASA fake this?
The Challenger, when it exploded, was empty. They did it as a trauma-based thing, a psyops, to get trauma.
So if you guys ever heard of an analemma? Sorry, couldn't get it out. Yeah, an analemma, dude. What is this, right? What an interesting pattern. Let me tell you how it happens. Yeah, so all you gotta do is you find a fixed location, a terrestrial point of view, and you take a photo of the sun every day at the same time for a full year. Now, they used to have these on globes. You used to see them, but people started getting smart. They're asking questions like, wait a minute, don't we have equal hemispheres? Because, I mean, if we do, shouldn't we be seeing like a perfect figure eight, whether it was the small end or the large end? It should be equal because we're on a sphere. But it isn't because we're not, which is probably why they're not on globes anymore. Now, if you come over here to the flat Earth map or the Gleason's map and you start applying that same analemma, that pattern, it makes perfect sense. And it makes sense because when the sun is in its innermost migratory path on the Tropic of Cancer, it's making a much smaller, tighter circle. But now as it migrates out here to the Tropic of Capricorn, it makes a much larger circle, which is why we get the disproportionate figure eight. Now, you didn't think this stopped with the sun, did you? No, you can do the same thing here with the moon. Trust me, guys, when you start applying some of that baffling science to the Gleason's map, to the flat Earth map, it starts to make a lot more sense. But don't trust me. Go do some research.
The Flat Earth map dates back over 1,000 years. This map is credited to being created by a Persian astronomer. His name was Al-Biruni, and he lived between 973 AD to 1048 AD. It's the official map of the United Nations and also the United States Geological Survey. It used to be present in many places before the creation of NASA and the Antarctic Treaty in 1959. Here you see it with Admiral Byrd. This map has been restored by Dmitry from Russia with suggestions of mine, Eddie Alenkar. Known by my YouTube channel Flat Earth Banjo, I asked Dmitry to include the Bermuda Triangle and Point Nemo, a place deep in the Pacific where NASA buries rockets. Then Robert Tozzi, a professional mapmaker, came along and enhanced the map even more. There are many people now selling this map online, but if you could order it from my online store, I would greatly appreciate it. Visit my online store now and order one of the items. I humbly thank you.